Hello, and welcome to Cardboard and Plastic. Today's video, SGC Reveal, and try to make this video pretty short, and a couple of mail cards. So, let's get into it right away. Number one, this is a card I got in the mail. It is a high number for 1964, and this card is Ken Hubbs, and the reason I got this is for my father-in-law. So my father-in-law, he had a scrapbook, and he was showing me, and for the Little League for Colton, when they got for the Little League All-Stars started the playoffs there, he threw a no-hitter, a one-hitter, and a two-hitter. And he was telling me that the year before, and he knew Ken Hubbs, Colton got to the Final Four for the Little League, and I didn't even know about the story about Ken Hubbs. So he won the 1962, I believe, National League Rookie of the Year. And my father-in-law had like pictures of like him with the team, with Ken Hubbs. So very interesting. So I got this for him. I also, for ComC, I got him the 1962, the 1963 tops of Ken Hubbs. And he says he's got... They say like the Colton teams, they still keep in touch, the people that are still alive. So he's definitely going to show off these cards to some of the people there. So that'll be a fun thing for me to send him in the mail. And then I got this in the mail today. So I was talking last video about the NBA at 50, and I got the Kobe Bryant for this. And I'm going to sell all my other Kobe's except probably the Upper Deck. And that card for me, I mean, that 7.5 looked nicer than the 8 that I was bidding on. Didn't win that. So I kept on just be patient. I mean, there's lots of cards out there unless it's very specific. Eventually you get a good deal. And I'm going to show you this reveal. Got to cut this open. I already know the grades. So SGC is very consistent. Like with PSA, like sometimes I get grades that are much different than I expect. But with SGC, like, if they're off by what I expect, they're off by, like, half a grade to a grade at the most. And everything here, I think, was graded pretty fairly, except for, like, a card or here or there. So, let me clear these out, and I'll start with kind of the one that disappointed me. So this is a 1952 large Bowman Bobby Lane. By the way, I can't be too disappointed with this. I bought this card for $5.25 on ComC. Now, with this card, they slabbed it. There's no wrinkles or creases or anything on the card. And the card looks absolutely gorgeous, but the problem with the card is it got a minimum size not met. Now, I've seen cards like this, and the Bowmans are notorious, the early ones, for just like, they just didn't cut these things to size a lot of times, according to, like, sometimes they're small, sometimes they're large. This card, I've seen cards slabbed, and I could actually, like, try to crack this, send this to PSA, maybe they'll give it a grade, or CGC, maybe I'll even send it back to SGC, it gets a grade, but I don't really care. The one thing with this, though, and kind of like think like the card is beautiful, there's no creases or anything on it. It would be nice, right, that they would have greater notes attached to the card, so even though it's authentic, minimum size not met, it would tell you, like, there's no creases on the card, and maybe even give, like, subgrades or something like that. But, I mean, it's just going to stay in my PC. I don't care. That's a beautiful, I mean, the registration on that card is gorgeous. And by the way, like, I am looking for, like, a 1955 Bowman. Hank Aaron. And those things, like, they have minimum size met, not like all the time, like on SGC labels. I'm probably just going to get one of those for a big discount. Let's see. This card, okay, so I grade this. There's a crease on it. This was, I think, going to get like a 2 to a 2.5. I really don't care about the grade for this. This is a 1948 Bowman, Slaughter. And it got a 2. And I kind of expected, I got the crease right there. It doesn't go through his face, so for me, that's fine. The reason I really graded that card is that card, like, I don't have a holder for it. And I had it like in a top loader, and for my Hall of Fame PC there, I just wanted it slabbed. I might eventually sell it if I find a better copy. That's kind of what I do. This one, this is a Ray Guy rookie card. This card itself, I thought it was between like a 6 and a 7, and that's exactly what SGC did. It's a little bit like the corners aren't perfect, right? But the registration is amazing. They have like a print defect on these, like right there for a lot of these. Like, it just doesn't look nice. This one doesn't have it. And it's well centered for this. So that's really why I graded it. It's the centering rarity of that card. Let's see. Here's a card that I graded. This is a O-Pee-Chee. Frank Robinson, and I thought this was like a 7 to an 8, and the card got, this is like kind of the one disappointment ones, 6.5. It's really like that O-Pee-Chee cut. Sometimes, because like all the rough cuts on it, it's really like up to the grader, right, with the corners, because if it's a rough cut, the corners aren't going to be perfect. And I've seen cards like that get 8s, and I've seen them get 6s, right? So it's an opinion of the grader, like, was that actually damage from the cut, or was that damage from the person pulling it from the back, from the pack, damaging the card? So that is a few cards. Let's see. Next one. And again, I graded this one too because of the size of it, right? It's a weird size card. This is the 1960 Lake to Lake. And I have the Warren Spahn. I still need the Hank Aaron. And this is the red Shandings. And it got, well, first of all, look at the beautiful card there. These cards actually are notorious. They have staple holes from when they stapled them to the milk cartons, and also when they redeemed them, a lot of them have like the hole punched out on them, right? Some have both. This one was a clean copy. It had a little staining, like just over time, like things aren't going to be white. And this card, well deserved, of a 6. And let's see, I'll go a little bit more of a modern card. So I am putting all of the, well, I probably won't get the Michael Jordan. This is the Dominique Wilkins. I have most of them. I think I'm still missing for the rookie cards. And a lot of these like are just rookie cards because they didn't make cards. They had star cards before. I'm missing the Chris Mullin now. Charles Barkley, Ralph Sampson, Chris Mullin, Michael Jordan, which I'm probably never going to get. I think I got the majority. All the other ones got an 8 or 9, so I graded the majority of them myself. This one I bought for $50. I've been looking for it. I was going to buy a graded copy, but every time I just lost out on auctions. And this one I bought for $50 on ComC, $50.25. And I got it back, and I said, this is nice. It's going to be an 8. And perfectly centered. Beautiful card. Got an 8. So, really for that, I mean, I think the last SGC 8 for that went for $150. I'm only into that card for like $65. This card, interesting story. So I had a reveal, not a ComC reveal, and one of the people that watched the video, like, said, like, wouldn't you want, like, I said, like, I'm not going to grade a lot of these cards. I'm going to put them in top loaders. And they go, wouldn't you want, like, that 1961 Topps Mini Minoso and a SGC 7? And then I got the card out and I looked at it, and it was offset or top to bottom, but the card was basically flawless besides that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw it in the SGC order because I think it is a 7. And funny enough, it got a 7. So beautiful card, beautiful registration. It's just the top to bottom centering's not perfect, but great card there. These two cards I bought from the same seller on eBay. So I think the Yogi Berra and the Duke Snider, I think together probably between $60, $70 combined. And I got them in the mail, and they were really nice. I thought the Berra had a chance for a 7.5, and I thought the Duke Snider was like a 7. These are the ones I was a little disappointed in. So the Duke Snider got a 6, a little bit off-centered, but a really sharp card with great registration. But again, like, just going to stay in my PC. And it adds value to the card because now if I ever do sell it or upgrade it, which I won't, that card itself, I don't have to explain to somebody like, no, it doesn't have creases or anything like that. So just easier to sell. This Yogi Berra I thought was a 7.5. And again, I was off by 1 grade with these. So, by the way, just great centering. I just got this. I had to have it in an SGC slab. So 6.5. And by the way, it really doesn't matter if it's like a 5.5, a 6, 6.5, 7. People buy the card, not the grade for these things. And like they've been selling for like $140, $150. So again, adds value to the card. I don't have to explain to anybody that it doesn't have creases. And then the last one, and again, like this is the 1955 doubleheader Warren Spahn, Tom Brewer, ready for my Warren Spahn collection. And this card is just like the reason I sent the order in. I got 9 other cards there. The reason I wanted this slabbed is the fact that it is just impossible. Like I had it like in a card saver 4. It just didn't present well. So this gives it a beautiful frame. By the way, when I bought this card, I took a chance. It was folded over, right? So it's like perforated. So it kind of like you can fold this over to the front. And I didn't know what the Warren Spahn part looked like with his face. So the card could have been damaged. I bought this. It was like a ComC auction. And then I finished the transaction on ComC. I think I got this card for like $27, which was a complete steal. And then I got it and I was like, you know what, beautiful. And I just want to get it graded. And I was like, right about a 4. And oops, that's what I got. So let's not worry about the grade. But this is just really nice that now it has a frame around it and add to my Warren Spahn PC. Now, I am very tempted to send another order into SGC, even though I said I wasn't going to grade. They have a special for 1970s and 80s. And I got like a 1972 Icy Bear, Pete Maravich. I might send that in. I don't know. But I'm going to go through my cards, organize a little bit. And if I find 5 cards I want to send into SGC for the special, I just might send that in. but I'm not really too worried about it. If I don't find 5 cards, I'll just keep them. Grading, I think, is going to go down in price anyway. There's just, right now the demand's high, but I think it's going to wane. But what do I know? The hobby could 10 times itself, right, according to Fanatics, and it could get out of control again. But I haven't been seeing that. So it's even like buying vintage, things like that, it's a little bit like, I think a lot more people are buying right now. It always happens in January. It slows down in December, November, picks back up a little bit. Baseball is going to pick up quite a bit, right, when we actually get to spring training. But I don't think a lot of the vintage is going to change much. So in the comments below, let me know which one is the favorite card of the reveal. And as always, have a great day. Keep on collecting.